contact, and you can hear the word stop in there, but it's down 30 decibels. You can hear it, but it takes a tremendous amount of listening to do that. Whereas when I gained it up or amplified that segment, the background segment by 20 decibels, then anybody's able to hear that easily. Whether it's running in real time or whether it's in just the 3 or 4 syllable context.
Well, maybe we'll approach it this way. Do you have a transcript of all of the speech on the 911 call that you believe can be identified by speaker?
Judge, I've interposed already a written objection if we're talking about all the speech on the entirety of the call.
Well, I understand your objection, but I also understand the question is so Mr. West can then further ask how many words. So overrule your objection.
Would you answer the question, Dr. Wright?
I think the answer is yes, but I'm not sure, because the question is a little bit vague to me.
What I'm trying to get at is, have you identified all of the speech on this recording that you believe can be compared and identified with a speaker?
Yes.
And do you have a transcript of that?
There is no final transcript of that. It's ongoing, and there are pieces of it that involve the theorization portion, but there are other pieces that were not analyzed or not transcribed.
Yeah.
There are pieces of it that are not transcribable yet, or maybe ever.
Dr. Reich, I'm going to need you to sort of start at the beginning of the answer and repeat it for the court reporter, please.
Okay, where you want to start?
I'll read you what I have. There is no final transcript of that. It's ongoing, and there are pieces of it that.
There are pieces of it that are analyzable, and pieces that are transcribable, and pieces that are not either analyzable or transcribable. In other words, not 100% of that tape is not going to be transcribable by anybody with any equipment at all. So very difficult.
Have you identified the speaker on all of the speech that you have been able to transcribe?
Yes.
And do you have that written down somewhere?
Yes, I don't have that with me right now.
Is that a document that exists that you could...
There's no given files and stick around.
So are you saying your work isn't done yet, and there may be additional speaker comparisons or additional speech recognition that may come later?
The speaker recognition is a different ballgame. That's usually referring to the automated recognition of speech by computer. I'm not doing any of that. It is possible that there might be some comparison that will be done, but right now I don't think there's going to be any further analysis of that type. Because the things that are being uncovered would be of lesser quality rather than of better quality.
Maybe we'll just start back at the beginning, and you can tell us specifically how you processed what had been identified as streams on the recording to identify those segments on which you performed a speaker identification. Are you able to do that?
As I mentioned before, the signals were virtually all in the background. So the signals first had to be amplified with the computer. But all that involves is identifying where the very soft signal is, and then multiplying it by some number to make it reasonably close in level in loudness, what you perceive as loudness level to the surrounding speech. And that is mostly what was done to all these states. There's very little fancy kinds of enhancement that was done. There's mostly just differentially amplifying signals that were not identified as speech before. They thought they were background effects and noises. They were not. They were speech.
I think where I'm confused is that we seem to be talking about two levels of speech on this recording. That one is what's obvious to anyone who listens to the recording as being a yell or cry of some sort. Do you follow me on that?
No, I thought you were going somewhere I could agree with you, but you diverted it last minute. If you mentioned this foreground speech, then certainly there is foreground speech at a much higher level as associated with the 911 caller and the 911 dispatcher. And then the other signals are all that came from the men at the scene of the incident, that speech is much lower level. At the microphone, or telephone. Now, if you're talking about other differences in level within what was going on between George and Trayvon, there are some differences in level, but not really significant ones. So in other words, all of the productions that were in the background, being produced by these two men, were all without some kind of amplification, were very difficult to decipher in real time.
So you're calling those the background speech?
Well, for want of a better term, yes.
And that's the speech that no one can hear without some amplification.
No, some of them can hear. Like most of them you can hear, but it takes a lot of effort and maybe experience.
Are you able to identify at this time where on the recording that speech exists?
The difficult speech?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
And do you have a transcript of that available that you can send to us?
There's no complete transcript available yet. There are samples of comparisons between, and I think you've seen some of them, comparisons between pre-process and process, between the two men and the stop word, for example.
When you say the stop, you're referring to a
Word.
cry of, for some sort or a word near the end of the recording that others have reported as being the word help. Is that
Can
right?
I play it for you?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Is that the word that we're talking about?
Sorry, but in what context? That's the final word on the tape. And it's a word that was analyzed for both speaker identification and for phonetic transcription. It's P-H-O-N-E-T-I-C.
So, maybe perhaps, and I'm sorry that I'm a bit confused with all of this, but let's go back to this. Let's just start over, okay? Let's talk about the standards that are used. You said that some people require a 10-second minimum. Others may require more. And are you saying that you require less than 1 second of speech?
I'm saying that the research has shown that under certain circumstances, that only less than 1 second of speech is required to identify someone.
Is that
For
based?
example,
What is that research, and does it relate to identifying people by screens?
no.
So that research,
Very little of the research is identifying people by screen.
well,
The non-forensic research, there is a small amount, large study, but a small amount of data that came out of Nixon, but out of the Tosi study.
That goes back to the days where the spectrograph was used extensively, is that correct?
Extensively or exclusively?
Extensively.
Yes, still is.
And that's back in the era where it was, spectrograph was considered to be a voice print.
Sorry, ask him to repeat.
In the Kirsta, KERNTA era, the term that was considered to be a voice print.
Dr. Wright, would you please go ahead and repeat that from the beginning, not in the Tosi era?
COSI, I believe, last name was spelled, and not as that's a much later era that takes into account actual field use of a technique. Whereas Kirsta was the early introducer of this equipment to the police department and the investigative agencies. He's what began the ruckus.
Can we take a recess for a few minutes?
Yeah, he's not going to be able to hear me on there. Dr. Wright, can you hear me? Do you mind telling him we're going to take a 10-minute recess and we'll call him back?
Dr. Wright? We are going to have a recess for about 10 minutes, and we will call you back. Is that okay?
That is okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Trish? Council, our clerk needs the CV of Mr. Owen and Dr. Wright so she could put it into evidence. If you'd please provide those copies to her. We'll be in recess for 10 minutes.